Little Rabbit was hopping joyfully through the forest when he saw a big, hungry, and menacing cat. He was terrified.
Luckily, he spotted Mrs. Weasel's house. "Help me!" cried Little Rabbit, trembling. Mrs. Weasel, all smiles, let him in. "Don't worry, little one. The cat won't touch you here." Mrs. Weasel, all smiles, let him in. "Don't worry, little one. The cat won't touch you here." The cat, impatient, waited outside, growling. He finally left, disappointed. Mrs. Weasel licked her lips. "Now it's my turn," she thought. Little Rabbit, who was playing, suspected nothing. Suddenly, Mrs. Weasel jumped on him. But Little Rabbit was very fast. He jumped out the window, leaving Mrs. Weasel completely surprised. He ran as fast as he could, laughing with all his might. The cat and Mrs. Weasel watched him go, mouths agape. Little Rabbit was so happy to have escaped those two villains. He found a pile of carrots and threw a big party to celebrate his victory. From afar, the cat and Mrs. Weasel looked at each other, a little embarrassed. They had learned a lesson. You can't always rely on cunning to catch your prey. And Little Rabbit? He continued to hop in the forest, happier than ever. He learned a lesson too. You always have to be careful, even when you're safe. Now he knew he had to be cautious, even with friends who seemed nice. He continued his life, smarter and more vigilant. And he lived happily ever after, eating lots of carrots.